The recruitment hall of the Galactic Defense Initiative buzzed with nervous energy as dozens of young cadets from across the known systems prepared for their first day of training. Among them, two small figures sat huddled in the corner, their tails wrapped tightly around their legs, ears flat against their heads. Naira and Varek, twin cubs from the feline world of Thessera 4, stared at the crisp uniforms laid before them with something between fear and defiance. The dark blue fabric seemed to mock them, all sharp angles and unfamiliar fastenings. Around them, other species donned their gear with varying degrees of ease. The multi-limbed arachnids slipped theirs on effortlessly, the crystalline prismatics simply phased through theirs, and even the slug-like Morvans managed to ooze into their specially designed suits. "I'm not wearing it," Naira muttered, her golden eyes narrowed. Her rust-colored fur bristled slightly at the shoulders. Varek, darker furred with white patches around his muzzle, nodded in agreement. "It looks wrong, uncomfortable, undignified." They had traveled 3-star systems to be here, sponsored by their clan after demonstrating exceptional tactical thinking during the Thesseran youth trials. But no one had warned them about this, about having to wrap themselves in these strange, stiff materials that smelled of industrial processing and nothing like home. That a shadow fell across their corner. "Having trouble, cadets?" Both cubs looked up to find a human standing before them. She was tall. Most species were tall compared to the young Thesserans, with dark hair pulled back in a practical braid and eyes the color of deep space. Her own uniform fit her perfectly, every seam aligned, every insignia in place. "We're fine," Varek said quickly, his pride stinging. The human, her name tag read Kale, Est, crouched down to their level, a gesture that surprised them both. Among the Thesserans, adults never lowered themselves to cubs they didn't know. It was seen as either condescending or overly familiar, but Celine Kale's expression held neither condescension nor false familiarity. There was something else there. Understanding, perhaps. "I'm Celine," she said simply. "Training officer, 3rd class. And between you and me," she leaned in conspiratorially, "I absolutely hated my first uniform too." Naira's ears perked up slightly. "You did? Couldn't figure out half the fastenings. Put my boots on the wrong feet. Wore my belt upside down for an entire week before someone corrected me." Celine smiled, and it reached her eyes. "But I learned something important that day." "What?" Varek asked, curiosity overriding his stubbornness. "That asking for help isn't weakness. It's strategy." Celine picked up Naira's uniform jacket, examining it thoughtfully. "Your people don't wear much clothing on Thessera 4, do you? I read about your world in the briefing files. Hot climate, fur sufficient for protection, cultural emphasis on natural presentation." Both cubs nodded, surprised she knew this. "So this must feel completely alien to you. Not just uncomfortable, alien." Celine set the jacket down carefully. "Here's the thing about uniforms in the GDI. They're not meant to erase who you are. They're meant to show that you're part of something bigger. But you can't be part of that something if you're too proud to admit when you need guidance." She paused, then added, "May I help you?" The question hung in the air. Around them, other cadets were filing out toward the training grounds, their preparations complete. Naira and Varek exchanged glances, having one of those wordless conversations that twins across all species seemed capable of. Finally, Naira nodded. "Yes, please." What happened next would stay with both cubs for the rest of their lives. Celine didn't simply dress them like dolls or bark instructions like a drill sergeant. Instead, she showed them. She explained each component of the uniform, not just how it fastened, but why. The reinforced shoulders that would protect them during combat training. The thermal regulation panels that would keep them comfortable in any environment. The insignia placement that would identify them as cadets of the GDI, with all the rights and responsibilities that entailed. This closure here, Celine demonstrated on Naira's jacket, is designed for species without opposable thumbs. See, you can hook it with a claw and pull, like this. Naira tried it. The jacket sealed with a satisfying click. Her eyes widened. For Varek, Celine showed him how the boots were designed with retractable claws in mind, how the pants had a specialized tailport that wouldn't chafe, how the belt could be adjusted to sit comfortably on a feline frame rather than a humanoid one. "Your designers thought about us?" Varek asked, surprised. "The GDI has been around for 300 years, Celine explained as she helped him straighten his collar. We've learned that one-size-fits-all doesn't work when all includes 47 different species across 82 worlds. Every uniform is designed to honor what makes each species unique while uniting us under a common banner. She stepped back, examining them both. Now, stand up straight. Shoulders back, or where shoulders would be on a human. Chin up, tails proud. The cubs obeyed, and something remarkable happened as they stood in their properly fitted, properly fastened uniforms. They saw themselves reflected in the polished surface of a nearby locker. They didn't look diminished or erased. They looked professional, capable, like they belonged. Naira's tail, which had been dragging moments before, now curved upward in a proud arc. Verek's ears stood at full attention, his whiskers forward in an expression of confidence. "How do you feel?" Celine asked. "Strong," Naira whispered. "Ready," Verek added. Celine smiled that same genuine smile. "Good, because that's exactly what you are. Now, let's get you to the training grounds. You're already late, and Instructor Grivik doesn't appreciate tardiness, but I'll smooth things over." First day jitters are universal. As they walked through the corridors of the training facility, Naira found herself studying Celine. "Why did you help us? You could have reported us for refusing to dress properly. We could have been sent home in disgrace." Celine was quiet for a moment, then spoke. "Because someone helped me once, when I was scared and out of my depth. A Thessaran, actually. Commander Thexera. She was my first CO, and she taught me that the strong don't stand alone. They lift others up." Verek's eyes widened. "Thexera, the Silver Stripe? She's a legend on our world." "She's a legend on many worlds," Celine agreed. "And she taught me that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, or our adaptability, or our strategic thinking. It's our capacity to see others struggling and choose to help, even when it costs us nothing to walk away." They reached the training grounds, where dozens of cadets were already running formation drills. Instructor Grivik, a towering Krogan with battle-scarred plating, turned to glare at them, then noticed Celine and merely nodded. Before they joined their cohort, Naira touched Celine's hand with one small paw. "Thank you, Training Officer Kale. Thank you for trusting me enough to ask for help," Celine replied. "That takes more courage than wearing a uniform ever will. Now go show them what Thessaran determination looks like." The cubs ran onto the field, their uniforms fitting perfectly, their strides confident. And as Celine watched them go, she thought of Commander Thexera and all the others who had helped her along the way. The chain of kindness that stretched across species and stars that in the Galactic Defense Initiative. They would learn tactics and technology, strategy, and survival. But on this day, in this moment, two young cubs from Thessera 4 learned something equally important. That humanity's gift to the galaxy wasn't dominance or superiority. It was the simple, profound act of extending a hand to those who needed it, teaching without diminishing, helping without demanding, and seeing potential in every being regardless of how small or scared they might seem. Naira and Verek would go on to become decorated officers, known throughout the GDI for their tactical brilliance and their unwavering loyalty to their squad mates. And whenever a new recruit struggled with their equipment or their